What's up, everybody? I'm here today. It is a day that we'll never get back and a day that we'll never have again. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited today to talk to you about our series, What's Holding You Back? And a lot of times, what's holding people back is not necessarily the system, it's not necessarily God, it could be you. And today, we're going to talk about fear of growth. That's right. Some people may be afraid to grow. You may be afraid to grow because there may be challenges in your life, there may be challenges in your home, you may be challenges in your own experience. And I'll tell you today that a lot of times that I've lived a lot of places. And there's no question about it that I've been blessed to live the places where I lived. Lived in the Northeast, I've lived in the Midwest, I lived in the South. I've even lived in Florida, where it's not really the South, but it's just another place. But many times you and I can experience what I would call fear of growth syndrome. When I was a kid, we moved around a lot. And one of the things that I really liked about moving around is that I liked making new friends. I love to meet new people. I enjoyed the thrill of learning a new city, a thrill of learning a new neighborhood, a thrill of learning a new street. And I also loved going to meet new classmates at my school. And so when I would go to school, I would um, obviously try to connect with the kids that my parents knew, but all the time, they weren't always my best friends, but I found people that I really enjoyed being around. And for some people, the fear of growth kind of is prohibiting you from going forward because it might be a new experience. Yes, there's some people who are afraid of new experiences. There's some people who get nervous at the networking experience and opportunity on the job. And there's some people who really don't enjoy that small chit chat. Some people really love the chit chat. They really love the small talk because some people, that's where they make their money, or that's where they have the most impact or influence. And I would tell you today that while that may be true, there is another side of this that we have to acknowledge. We have to acknowledge that first steps can be really challenging. And for some people, they may be paralyzed. They may um, not necessarily feel the best. They may clam up. They may get nervous. And I'll never forget, I was a young man. This girl caught my eye and I just couldn't talk. I stuttered. I'm not really a stutterer. I stuttered. I froze up at the time. And that happens to some people because of their experiences. There's some people do that because they've had history with bad experiences like that before. Some of you have put yourself out there. You wanted that love, you wanted that romance, but you just said, I'm not sure if this is going to work. And then some of you are at that point, that pivot point today, that perfect point of opportunity. And I've got to talk with you today because you are the person that really needs to listen to this. There are opportunities awaiting you if you would just be bold enough to take the first step. And some of these bold actions may not always lead to amazing euphoric experiences, but these bold actions will cause you to have new experiences that will be better for you than it would be to stay right where you are. I would suggest to you it's time for you to take some action. But I'd like to share with you today that you may not necessarily be afraid of failure. You might actually be afraid of success. That's right. Some people are really afraid of success because they don't know what it will feel like, what it will look like, what they'll have, what it will allow. Some people are afraid of success, wondering if it would be the right thing to do. What would my family think? What would my kids think? What would others think? And some people say, well, what am I going to do with all that money? What am I going to do with all this time? What am I going to do with all these resources? And I'll tell you today that you've got to focus on completing the task ahead of you. If that task ahead of you includes that you should be successful, be successful. Own it, claim it, and believe that it's your destiny. God's allowed it to happen in his providence for you to have a level of success. But some people are fearful because of what others may think. Now, what others may have thought about you, guess what? They're not going to stop talking about you. They won't stop looking at you, and they'll wonder why in the world you're doing certain things you're doing. They don't have to know the secret. You don't have to stir the secret sauce and pour it out to them. But what you can do is live your life full, abundant, hopeful, and joyful, and realize that fear of growth could actually be stopping you from actually experiencing the real joy that's waiting for you. Think about it. Everybody's had a bad relationship with someone, whether you are romantically involved or not. There's so many people who have had bad experiences on the job, whether you like the job or not. There are many people who've had bad experiences with neighbors, whether you like your neighborhood or not. But that doesn't stop you. And some people even had bad experiences at your favorite department store that's popular, that has commercials on TV. You still go there every single week. And that didn't stop you from getting your essential items from the grocery store or your favorite department store. But why let the potential good thing stop just because it didn't feel right? I lived in one city, and there was a very cool family. They were very kind and everything like that. And like any family, some people fall on hard times, difficult experiences. And so this person had the opportunity to catapult their family's future by leaving the state and going to another place and getting a job. Well, instead of leaving the state, they actually stayed where they were. And instead of finding the love that they could have had, they found some local love that was really, really cool, and it blessed them. Doesn't mean that it's a bad thing to stay at home when your family has needs. But what if you would have taken the opportunity to do something amazing? Even myself, I was about to take a job. I was in the airport. I felt so nervous that I almost turned around. I was making a career shift about 15 years ago. And I said, what if I actually do this? What if it actually works? I said, well, maybe I just have to see what happens. And I was this close, almost very close, within almost an inch of being able to say, I'm not doing this right now. I'll turn around. I'll tell my wife that something happened, something disastrous happened on this journey. And hopefully in her grace and kindness, she'll believe what I'm saying. Well, I'll tell you this honestly, that many times the fear of success can actually hold you back from doing something you really would love. And instead of being fearful, I want to invite you to do one thing today, and that is take action. Whatever action it is, you know you need to take that action, and that action may be waiting for you to come claim it. Think about it. You wouldn't leave $1 million on the table if there was no animus involved, no possibility for any kind of negative thing to happen to you in court or familial with others or in relationship. You get that money. So think about this new opportunity as an opportunity that you could take right now. Take the action, be bold, be brave, and believe you can do this. I'd like to also invite you to consider that not only should you take the action, but take somebody with you. You don't need to grow by yourself. There are other people who may be waiting to grow with you. They may not have the courage that you have, but they want to grow. So take them with you. Take the class, be a mentor, grow, and take somebody with you. Make sure if you want to grow, you want to take your life, you want to take your items, you want to take your content to the next level, check out the link in the description for Go High Level. It's a 30-day boot camp. Please make sure to take advantage of this. I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today, and I wish you an amazing day and the rest of your journey.